You see, for the last 7 years, Inside Government has been the unrivaled voice of informing you on what's happening in government. From policy to project, we have always been here to break it down for you to understand it. And now the times are changing. From today going forward, Inside Government will be coming to you live from Broadcasting House every Wednesday from 8 to 9 p.m. And that's what we are doing. Tonight, we just want to focus on Kenya's AI strategy, which was launched last month, by the way. It's a 5-year document that is supposed to guide the development of this critical industry in the next 5 years. And of course, it projects different scenarios. And the question is, can you plan for AI, bearing in mind that it's changing every day? And at the end of this month, from the 26th to the 29th of May, the much talked about Connected Africa Summit is taking place in Mombasa. What kind of conversations will take place there? This is Inside Government, and we are live from Broadcasting House. My name is O'Brien Kimani. I'm joined by John Paul Okwiri. He's better known as JP. He's the CEO of Konza Technopolis, Africa's premier tech city. He's joining us tonight so that he can give us his perspective on the AI strategy as well as the upcoming Connected Africa Summit in Diani, Kwale County. JP, thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Brian.
Is Konza Technopolis going to Diani?
Yes, Konza is going to Diani, and we are ready to be part and parcel of the Connected Africa Summit that's coming up shortly. Yes. I
saw you last year when the Connected Africa Summit was held at the Jamhuri Gardens, and there came the outcome of that critical meeting was the Nairobi Declaration.
Correct.
Would you want to tell us how much we have covered in regard to that document?
Looking at the Connected Africa Summit of 2024, a number of declarations were made by the various African ministers, ICT minister who came, and amongst them was to be able to establish that as an African continent, we are connected digitally and that we lead in digital transformation. So looking at what various African countries have been able to do over the years, you realize that in Kenya, we are driving the agenda of the digital superhighway, which aims to ensure that 100,000 kilometers of fiber fiber connectivity to homes. Also looking at what various other countries have been able to do, Rwanda has been leading also in ensuring that they continue to preach the gospel of smart Africa. Also, they've been able to look at the various aspects of cloud computing, and also we've seen since that conference, we've had various African governments visiting Kenya to see the infrastructure that Kenya has been able to put in place to ensure that we have stable internet speeds, being a 5G country, and also just showcasing what Africa and Kenya is doing towards a digitally transformed Africa, which is one of the resolutions that were made by the various African ministers when they came for the Africa Connected Summit.
You know, the world of tech is evolving very fast. I mean, and you know, 12 months is quite a long time in the tech world. I mean, back then we didn't have DeepSeek. Now we have DeepSeek, which is competing with other chat boxes. What would you say has been the highlights of the last 12 months before the Connected Africa 2025?
Wow. Okay, the highlights of the last 12 months has been very active. From the Connected Africa Summit of 2024, under the Ministry of ICT, we've been able to host the conference on data protection that was held in May. We've also been able to host the world through the ISP conference that was done through Konza Technopolis. There was also a conference on communications that was postponed due to the unrest that we had last year in August. But then, as under the Ministry of ICT, we've been able to continue with the establishment of the digital superhighway. Konza Technopolis, we've been able to focus more on the Jitume Digital Enablement Program, where now we've been able to train over 600,000 youths in digital skills, and being able to link over 169,000 with the digital jobs. So we've made a lot of progress, and as you can see, a lot of progress has been made, and even in terms of investor attraction, Kenya has continued to be the pool, to have the pull effect, where most investors now are coming, and we've had a lot of visits from various governments. Early this year, we hosted the president of Guinea-Bissau, visited Konza just to see what is going on there, and also looking forward to establishing a similar facility in his own country. We've been able to see various governments. In Konza alone, we've hosted various principal secretaries and cabinet secretaries of other countries coming to see what we are doing. Similarly, with ICT Authority under the ministry also, they've been able to host various delegations just coming to see what Kenya has been able to do since the last conference. As Kenyans, we are positioning ourselves to be the gateway to Africa. And for that, we can only do that if we have the right ingredients in place in terms of infrastructure, connectivity, regulatory environment, Kenya being a peaceful country, preparing our youth through skilling and upskilling to be future ready to undertake these digital opportunities that are coming up. Yeah.
You see, when you look at the history of Konza Technopolis and the history of Connected Africa, I mean, before it was Connected Kenya, they share the same history. I mean, it almost started at the same time.
Yes.
And, you know, Connected Kenya has grown into Connected Africa, you know, now bringing stakeholders from all over Africa. What would you say has been the hallmark of Konza in the last, how many years? 13 years or 14 years?
Yes, 13 years.
13
yes.
years.
Yes. The hallmark of Konza, we have had several milestones since inception, from the time when it was a concept in 2008 to a point where now the establishment, the gazettement of Konza Technopolis was done, that is in 2012. Signing the first master delivery partner contract in 2014 that established the environment for master planning of the city, developing guidelines to 2016, when we were able now to launch our first strategic plan that focused now on laying the foundation and being able to raise sufficient capital to begin the infrastructure work. To 2018, when we finally broke ground for the first infrastructure project that has been able to transform Konza Technopolis, making it investor-ready facility, to now, when now we are now settling investors. We've been able to attract and settle investors in Konza Technopolis, and we are now looking forward to having more investors settling in Konza Technopolis, making it the vision, fulfilling the vision that was meant to be. So if you ask me what is the hallmark, what has been the hallmark of Konza Technopolis, I think looking at the mandate of Konza Technopolis Development Authority, which are three. One, we are looking at Konza Kotda being established to develop the infrastructure, to attract and retain investors, and also to establish an innovation ecosystem. So you realize that we've been able to tick each box in each of the three mandates that Konza Kotda was established to do. And looking at establishing the innovation ecosystem, KAIST, Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, is now complete. And recently you saw the cabinet was able to approve the establishment of the university as a special purpose university, and that is making Konza it's one of the hallmarks that has made Konza what it is today. And also looking at Konza having operationalized a national data center, which is a state-of-the-art facility and currently working. So there are several hallmarks that if we were to look at, then we can almost feel that we are on the right track to ensuring that we achieve Vision 2030.
When you look at Konza, I mean, it's supposed to position Kenya, as a Silicon Savannah of Africa. And when you look at Connected Africa Summit, it's supposed to make Kenya the ICT hub.
Correct.
Here in Africa. So where is the collaboration between the two institutions to deepen Kenya's ICT as well as technological landscape?
Correct. So ICT Authority, of course, they have the regulatory mandate to ensure that the ICT function as a country has laid the sustainable regulatory environment that can enable businesses to thrive, ICT related. Konza Technopolis is establishing the platform for establishing the Africa Silicon Savannah. So all the necessary foundation in as far as innovation, research and development, knowledge economy, that will reside in Konza Technopolis, while ICT authorities have been able to establish the enabling environment for investors to come in. And therefore, looking at the collaboration between the two institutions within the Ministry of ICT, you realize that ICT Authority is establishing the environment, regulatory environment, making it, enabling it for investors to come. But when those investors come to Kenya, like now we are looking at Connected Africa, they need to find a location. And that location is Konza Technopolis, which has the right ingredients for any investor to settle. So that is the collaboration. And now looking at what we have with the Connected Africa Summit, you realize that we will all be there in the Konza Pavilion with all our partners ready to settle any investor that will come and would want to settle in Konza, in Kenya and in Konza Technopolis. We want to make Kenya be the gateway for investment in Africa. And right now we have the necessary ingredients that have been put in place through our government to make Kenya be that gateway.
What have you been telling guests or people who have been visiting your stand in the previous Connected Africa Summits, and what do you plan to tell them in the year 2025?
So ICT, looking at ICT and what value does Konza have to offer, you realize that we have the infrastructure, the ready infrastructure. In ICT, you have to work with partners because each partner has something of value to offer. So Konza being a government agency, we are providing the platform and the necessary infrastructure that ordinarily a private sector would not like to invest in. And therefore, when they come, we find them, we provide them a space for cloud computing environment, which is future ready, providing high security environment in terms of data protection, cyber security, and also privacy, data privacy. That is an environment that any investor who comes into the country, they look at that. ICT Authority, on the other hand, will provide the necessary enabling regulatory environment for such investors when they come in. So the message will be putting across to the investors who will come at the Connected Summit. We'll be basically telling them, look, we are ready. We are ready to move you from CAPEX to OPEX in as far as infrastructure is concerned. We'll be telling them government has already invested in the necessary infrastructure. We've provided for you an enabling environment. We've provided for you a special economic zone, meaning that they're able to get tax incentives related to their investment. And therefore, we are saying we are ready for any requisition that may come from investors. Looking at Konza in terms of connectivity, we have all the ISPs terminating in Konza, and that making it highly, in terms of latency, for cloud infrastructure. It makes the speeds very good, and that is something that any investor will not want to pass. They definitely settle once they get all the ingredients correct. Yeah.
You see, having participated in many connected Kenya Connected Africa Summit, I mean, when you look at the conversations there, they are technical conversations, they are high-end conversations, they are IT conversations. But how do we make the conversations at Connected Africa in 2025 resonate with the people in Todonyang,
yes,
with the people in Ramu in Kwale County, with the people in Gatundu in Kiambu County? So how do we ensure that this message is not just for the elite, but it has the trickle-down effect to reach every part and every corner of this country?
That we can do only through action. If we talk and talk and talk and no action, it will not resonate with the people on the ground. And therefore, looking at what digital superhighway has to offer, you find that we are providing 100,000 kilometers of fiber connectivity, which means fiber will be linked to all homes and also all public institutions, and that is where the man on the ground resides. We're also looking at establishing of the 25,000 public Wi-Fi hotspots. This is something that is very impactful, especially to our youthful generation that is tech-savvy. They need internet connectivity in order to communicate and even be more creative. So that brings the impact to the people. You also look at what we are doing with the digital hubs. It's a project that has been very impactful in as far as tapping the tech-savvy young people from the streets to come to an environment where they are able to connect to the world and also do meaningful work and earn money in dollars. That is something that if we can transfer it from Connected Africa Summit to real action, then it becomes impactful to our young people, and people begin to identify with this conference because they know that from that conference a number of resolutions will be made, and then the impact will come directly to the people. So we can only ensure that it resonates with the people on the ground if we continue with the actions that we are taking as an agency, as a ministry, and also as government.
And then how do we also make Kenyans to be part of the conversations that will be taking place at in Diani, at the Connected Africa Summit?
Yeah, the forum is now open. Actually, when I was looking at it, it's open to the public, and people are able to contribute and begin the discussions as it goes through that platform that has been created by the organizers of the Africa Connected Summit. We will also be able to provide live coverage and also a live environment where even for those who have not been able to attend physically, can also participate in the conversations that will be going on in Diani. Above that, you find that the people invited, or the participants who will be in Diani, are also business people in ICT in this country, and they are able to also connect and network more with the various other partners and customers and investors, and they'll be able to scale up their businesses as a result of that. And that also will ensure that the common man is able to connect in as far as new products that will be developed from the conference, new partnerships that will be developed there, in terms of investments, how many investors shall have launched their products coming out of the summit, looking at even what we are currently enjoying as e-citizen. It's a product of Africa Connected Summit, and it's something that we look forward to, because we know at the end of the day the impact will be to the common man.
You see, there is a quote in strategy and planning, that what cannot be measured, cannot be improved, and what cannot be measured cannot be managed. And so, how do we measure the impact of conversations at every connected summit?
Now, how do we measure? Looking at, I'll look at it in terms of impact that comes out of that. For example, the last year's conference was about connectivity. How do we ensure that Africa is connected? And you realize that from that conversation, we have various partners coming in with new fiber optic connectivity. Google has already launched one to ensure that we are able to connect the entire Africa with the fiber optic cable, bringing the number to almost 6 submarine cables that are all connecting to Africa. And these are conversations that once we are coming out of Africa Connected Summit, then we can be able to begin counting the impacts that have come out of it. Looking at what the ministers declared last year, you realize that various governments, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Rwanda, Nigeria, they were all challenged to do something. Looking at even South Sudan, from last year's Connected Summit, the delegation of Sudan has been coming to Kenya just to ensure that there's a connection, internet connectivity between the two countries. And tapping in from Kenya, and as far as internet infrastructure is concerned, this is something that is going to improve the interconnectivity of internet within the African countries. So we can only measure based on the impact that conversation has been able to achieve. This year, we'll be able to review, based on the declaration made last year, what are the various steps that have been taken since that conversation. And you realize that Africa is getting more and more connected in as far as ICT connectivity is concerned, and we are challenging each other to ensure that we achieve it. From the conference, you realize that various actors and players have come into the country and are able to establish their ICT ventures going forward from that conference. Yeah.
Very good. I mean, if you're just joining us, we're in the company of John Paul Okwiri. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the Concert Technopolis. And our conversation tonight, we are looking at the upcoming Connected Africa Summit, and how do we drive maximum impact from this meeting, and how do we ensure that the conversations in Diani, Kwale County, trickles down to the ordinary people, to every part of this country, and how do we ensure that the aspirations of that meeting are captured and they are all geared towards driving Kenya's status as an ICT hub. The other issue we are also looking tonight is the issue of AI strategy. Just last month, the country launched its 5-year AI strategy, which is aimed at deepening AI technology in our operations as a country, and those are some of the issues that we are looking at here. John Paul Okwiri, I told you, he's the CEO of Concert Technopolis. Let's now shift our focus now to that critical document. I mean, I saw you at KICC during the launch of that important document. And the question that people are asking ourselves, the question that many people are asking is, can you really plan for artificial intelligence, bearing in mind that it's evolving on a minute-by-minute basis?
Yes, it's good to plan, because failure to plan leads to you lose if you don't plan. Therefore, it was a good idea that the government chose to provide a strategy on how, as much as AI is evolving, then we need to have some basis within which we can work. And the strategy is very good. It's a well-done document, and it's something that will provide a way forward in as far as how we approach AI. And looking at the document, you realize that the key pillars of the document is we are looking at the infrastructure. As a country, are we infrastructure ready for AI? We are looking at data. How much data do we have? How much data will enable us to implement AI. And also we're looking at AI as a research and development pillar. Having a pillar of research and development, because with AI you have to do a lot of research and development so that you can innovate and make use of AI. So it's a very good document that has been done, and it provides a way forward within which as a country we'll be able to tackle this new, you call it the fifth industrial revolution through AI. And Africa and Kenya, we have to be ready. We have to be future ready so that we can also partake this new opportunity in AI. With AI as a country and well implemented, we'll be able to resolve a lot of challenges that we've had as a country, from healthcare, agriculture, education, and various other avenues that as a country we've struggled with.
And as Konza Technopolis, you know, the model that you are built on is a smart city concept.
Correct.
How are you embracing AI in the operations and in the construction of Konza Technopolis?
You see, AI, artificial intelligence, is all about data. And for you to be in that space, you need to have a cloud environment, cloud computing environment, where this data can be hosted, and it enables you, cloud computing environment enables you to be able to be more innovative and provide an avenue for analytics, and AI results from analytics. So with a cloud computing environment, you are able to provide an infrastructure that enables AI to thrive. And in Konza Technopolis, of course, we've laid the necessary infrastructure in as far as a national cloud environment is concerned through the National Data Center. It's a data center that is AI and future ready. And as a country, we've invested, right, because now we can say we can participate and we can also contribute to the evolution of artificial intelligence.
You brought in the issue of data privacy, and I know we have the Office of Data Protection in Kenya. And there has been, growing calls that it is high time that we look into the Act and into the legal framework that established the Office of Data Protection. This is in light to the growing needs and challenges of AI. Are you sure, or do you feel that as a country we have proper legal capacity to deal with data privacy?
Yes, with the establishment of the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner through the Data Protection Act of 2019, as a country we are ready. In fact, looking at even what Kenya has been able to do, and even with the influx of influx of investors coming in, one of the areas they look at is what is your data privacy regulatory environment like. So when they come in and find that we're already having a law that governs data, then it makes us tick the box in as far as investment is concerned. So as a country, I say we are ready. We are ready to deal with data privacy because we've laid the necessary regulatory environment through the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, who has been able to improve how we look at data protection ever since the law was established. And therefore, as a country, we are ready. We are ready to deal with data protection and data privacy.
Well, you see, when you look at artificial intelligence, this is what we say, that lack of public understanding and digital literacy can be a hindrance to the growth of AI in any country. So how do we ensure that we upscale public understanding and, of course, we deepen digital literacy in Kenya?
Yeah, it's just through creating more awareness and sensitization for our population. We have a youthful population that is tech savvy, a youthful population that understands what tech means. And therefore, it's just a matter of ensuring that we are able to skill and upskill them at various times, so that as a country we are ready and our population is also future ready to take advantage of the AI evolution. And that we've been able to do as a country very well. Through what we have with the Jitume Digital Enablement Program, we are working with various partners, for example, Cyber School, to ensure that we are able to train and skill and upskill the young people with the AI skills, and also ensuring that we are able to sensitize them on data protection and use of ethical use of AI. This we have to continue doing so that at the end of the day, we have a population to ensure that we take advantage of the evolution of the artificial intelligence. Yeah.
Very good. And also joining us on the set, late, we're joined by Harry. He's the CEO of CRO East Africa, which is a digital company, and he's joining us now. He can also give us the perspective from the private sector on those two issues, the Connected Africa 2025, as well as the AI strategy. Thank you very much, Harry, for joining us. I mean, we've had extensive conversation here with JP on Connected Summit 2025. And he has been speaking from what I would classify as a public sector point of view. You're coming on board as part of the private sector point of view. And so the question is, how do we ensure that Connected Africa 2025 becomes not just a conversation at the top, an elite kind of conversation, but we ensure that this conversation reaches to the mama mboga, to the border riders, to the farmers, to the fishermen on Lake Turkana?
Good question there. And yeah, you're right. Sometimes we see these events like Connected Africa, come, people have conversations, good conversations, and then everybody goes away, and then it ends there. But I think what I like about Connected Africa Summit is it's like a connection of the public sector and private sector, where minds come together. The private sector minds, public sector minds come together, and as people deliberate, as people brainstorm, as people discuss, then things start to happen. Because you see, the partnership between private sector and the public sector is where, when you get that right, is when now things happen. And I don't tire to give the examples of some of the things that happened that connected, including the Huduma centers. The Huduma centers actually were a product of a connected summit event. So it's that mix of private sector, public sector bringing in the policy side of things, the regulatory side of things, and then the private sector coming in, looking at the opportunities and putting in investment for us to be able to now build certain things that then take our continent and our country forward. So I think that's how I see it.
Yeah. When we come back after this short break, I also want to hear from you, and this is a question that I had asked JP. Then how do we also make Kenyans to be part of the conversation in Diani, that is Kwale County, and how do we ensure that their contribution to this meeting, counts? You're watching Inside Government. We're live from Broadcasting House. My name is O'Brien Kimani. A short break is well deserved, and thereafter we're back with more.
Je, umewahi kuwa na deni ya KRA? Basi usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC wamekuandalia roadshow murwa kabisa. Jiunge nasi tukufahamishe kuhusu KRA Tax Amnesty Program na jinsi utakavyoweza kusamehewa adhabu na riba na KRA. Pia tutakuwa tunakusaidia kujaza fomu za kodi za mwaka 2024 na kukusaidia na huduma za KRA kwa mtaa wako. Jumatano tarehe 7 mwezi Mei tutakuwa maeneo ya Thika Road, TRM, Mombasa Road, Pipeline, Bahati, Kariobangi, Buruburu Shopping Center, Fedha, Kayole, Dandora, Mwiki, Kasarani, tumalizie Roysambu. Kisha Alhamisi tarehe 8 mwezi Mei tutazuru maeneo ya Westlands, Kangemi, Uthiru, Kinoo, Dagoretti, Satellite, Kibra, Ngong Road, Nairobi West, Karen, Ngong na hatimaye Rongai. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
Shukisha msee.
Hapa hakuna stage.
Wala shukisha ama mimi kapiga nduru na pesa yako msilibi.
Mimi sitaki kisirani. Shuka.
Thank you.
Shuka.
Poleni. Wacha nipigia mtu wangu wa insurance akuje washughulikie.
Mtasign hizi forms in a few weeks time mtakuwa mmepata fidia yenu. Poleni sana.
Kwani kampuni ya Ipima ilifunga?
Unataka kusema hatutapata pesa?
Wewe na hizo unaangalia namna hiyo.
Policyholders Compensation Fund PCF ilibuniwa ili kufidia wadai wa kampuni ya bima ambayo imewekwa katika usimamizi wa kisheria au leseni yake imebatilishwa. Iwapo umejaza claim forms na insurance ikakubali kulipa lakini ikafungwa, tembelea tovuti ya www.pcf.go.ke kisha ufuate taratibu za kujaza claim na utasaidika kupata fidia. Policyholders Compensation Fund, dhamana ya bima yako.
Mount Savannah, Mount Savannah.
Shule yetu twaipenda ya mlima wa Lavana.
Juhudi tosha ama juhudi wazi za kuyatetea mazingira yetu.
Ina haja gani tuongeze juhudi, sera za serikali na sheria iwapo zipo tayari? Tunachohitaji sasa kufanya ni kutilia mkazo.
Wewe kama mwananchi hauzingatii hizi kwa umakini, unatarajia aje hizi mikakati yaweze kuboresha sisi wote?
Geuza sentensi hiyo katika kauli ya kutendeshwa.
Mtoto alinyweshwa maziwa yake.
Makofi mpigie. Sara na Azna ni kioo katika jamii.
Wanaleta maudhui ya upendo katika familia.
Taja nyimbo nyingine katika fasihi.
Kuna nyimbo za sifo,
Nyimbo za mapenzi.
Nyimbo za mapenzi, sio?
Yeah.
Hapana kucheza na mtu iko na neema.
This will be a session just to discuss about realities of business, poetry, and how to navigate through life.
I'm an entrepreneur. I have a background in banking. Right now, I am a meat distributor, aka a butcher.
Okay.
Because I'm married to a Nigerian man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not yet adopted a Nigerian accent.
Imagine. No? The only way I could deal with that death was to drink more, party more. Like it was havoc.
It's only the Lord who can change people, and the best thing you can do is perpetually invest in prayer. Now I'm looking at your life and I'm like, oh, this girl got a child in campus and still believed in marriage.
Connected Africa Summit 2025 as well as Kenya's AI strategy. That's the focus of our conversation tonight on Inside Government. Two gentlemen joining me on the set. That is JP or John Paul Okwiri. He's the CEO of Konza Technopolis, as well as Harry, the CEO of CIO East Africa. I was asking you, Thies Harry. We've talked about how to ensure that the conversations at the Connected Africa Summit trickles down to the people at the bottom of the pyramid. But again, how also do we ensure that we springboard people, you know, at the bottom of the pyramid and lift them and make them part of the conversation that will be happening in Diani?
I think so. Conversations like what we see in a place like Connected can get technical, because it's a technical conversation. Which could be not easily understood by everybody. However, what you see is a lot of the conversations that go on there are things that emanate from policy. Yeah. So government policy, government initiatives that have been going on or that are starting. So those are the conversations. And these conversations, if you look at the government policies or initiatives that have been set, they're for a common good. So, you know, these are things that, you know, for instance, the Ministry of ICT and the 100,000 kilometers of fiber. That is something that touches the people at the bottom of the pyramid. So these conversations they could be technical, but actually, if you look at the outcomes of those conversations, are meant to actually support, enable, empower the people at the bottom of the pyramid.
When you look at you know, the Konza Technopolis as well and the Connected Africa, so how do we ensure that the conversations taking place at Connected Africa, they have a positive bearing on Konza Technopolis?
So Konza, you know, Konza is, and we have CEO here, but Konza is probably one of the best things that ever happened to Kenya. Sometimes if, you know, you feel like, you know, probably should have happened earlier. Because you see, what happens at Konza, it creates a new environment where new opportunities can be generated. Yeah, so if you look at, you know, from job creation to getting super solid infrastructure that is future-proof. So what is happening at the conference? For instance, there's a whole session, I think. I saw the program. There's a whole session on smart cities. Yeah, so that speaks directly to what is happening at Konza. And you know, some of these technologies and some of these trends, they keep on changing. So every day there's a new thing. Every day. So now we're talking about AI. Yeah. Yesterday or the day before we're talking about IoT. So you know, you see that graduation into these new technologies, and then so those conversations now can go into feeding into what JP and his team are doing. So it has a direct relationship and direct value to what is happening at Konza.
I want to hear this from John Okwiri. I mean, as the CEO of Konza Technopolis, and you know, technology is a fast evolving product. I mean, what was fashionable yesterday can be discarded today. I mean, can be frowned upon today. He has talked about the IoT, the Internet of Things.
Correct.
I mean, is it somehow frustrating for you? Before you even understand what is this, then you know, the world has moved to the next thing. I mean, we were talking about IoT. Now we are talking about DeepSeek. We are talking about a chat box. We are talking about artificial intelligence. I mean, is it somehow frustrating?
No, it's not frustrating. It's exciting. It's always good to be in an environment where things are dynamic, where we are challenged. That is what brings out the best in all of us. So the technology world has been evolving, and as CIO has mentioned here, we've evolved from Internet of Things just the other day, and now we are talking about AI. And what that means is that the various opportunities that are generated from that change in technology. Looking at even our country, when we moved from analog to digital, a lot of other opportunities came up. Now we have content creators, people who do not need to own a media house to broadcast. We have existence of YouTube channels, and this has been brought about by the shift from analog to digital. So the same way we are looking at IoT, for example, to now AI. AI has come with new opportunities that are going to come up with it. We are now able to predict what the future holds in terms of weather, so that will support us in agriculture. So we call it agri-tech. We look at health. How do we ensure that we are able to predict in terms of diagnosis? We can do that earlier through use of AI, and that makes it health tech. We look at education. The government is now able to predict how many children are likely to be born in the next 10 years and plan for them. So we are looking at education tech, those kind of things. So AI is going to bring up a new wave of opportunities that as a country and as young people, we should be ready to take advantage of and move to the next.
And by the way, I mean, when you look at Concert Technopolis, I mean, you'd be classified as a city within a city. I mean, you have everything that probably maybe even better than what Nairobi would be having. And I want to hear this from Harry. I mean, so is there any need of taking Connected Africa to Diani? Why can't we take it to Concert Technopolis, where practical examples, can take place?
You can, but I guess that's a question. I can't answer that question. But it's also probably, and I'm guessing here. I'm just thinking, if I was the one who was doing the event, why would I take it to Diani? One is you want people to focus. Because you see, if you have such events in the city, the attention span of people, because you want to get people to go deep into those conversations and have solid outcomes out of it. People get distracted when they're in the city. Call from the office, hey, we need you here. But when people know that you're away, you're far away, then you sort of have that time to be able to focus on the thing that brought you to Diani. So I think that could be one of the things probably the organizers looked at. Yeah.
Do you agree with him?
Yes, I agree with him.
But you have wildlife there.
Yeah, we have wildlife, yes.
You have good sceneries.
And also looking at the fact that it is an industry event. It is not. You want everybody to feel connected to the summit. So it's always good to work with what the partners are saying. It's a sponsored event, so it's the partners who have the upper hand in determining which.
But honestly, Brian, if you have this event at Concert, you won't get the attention of JP. You won't.
Really?
Yeah, you won't. Because, he'll be called.
He'll be running all over.
Yeah, he'll be all over the place. Yeah, so you want him to be focused. He's away from his office, where he can focus on the work at hand. Yeah, and the best way to do it is to take him away from his environment.
Very good. Before we wind up this conversation, I want to hear from you, JP.
Okay.
What do you expect out of the Connected Africa Summit 2025?
The Connected Africa 2025, it's going to be a milestone for us as Concert Technopolis, because looking at the growth we've made since last year, and I remember the other time in 2023 in Mombasa, that time we had very few partners in as far as our cloud computing environment is concerned. Now the numbers have grown threefold, and this time we are coming as an army of partners and of people who are geared towards achieving the same objective. And all these are partners that are participating in the Connected Summit. So we feel that this time is the time now to make more partnerships so that we can take the digital transformation of our country forward.
Thank you very much. Yes, Harry.
For me, it's again, partnerships. The ability to walk out of Diani with some concrete outcomes, which can take us to new frontiers in terms of digital transformation.
Yeah.
But also trying to connect. You know, I like the word connected because it's trying to connect the continent.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fragmentation in our industry. So if we can bring all these people, all the players that say, you know, make things happen within the space, then that would be a great outcome for me.
Very good. I think at that point, we have to wrap it up. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And of course, this is an ongoing conversation. We'll continue to break bread with you. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you very much. I mean, Harry is the CEO of CIO East Africa, joining us tonight. And of course, JP or John Paul Okwiri, the CEO of Concert Technopol, is also joining us here so that we can look at the future of AI and of course Kenya's AI strategy for 2025-2030 and of course the upcoming Connected Africa Summit. You have been watching Inside Government live from Broadcasting House. This is our national headquarters. Remember, the Prime Edition is coming up next with Doreen Arangue. Stay right here. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.